National Football League. Although the Bears claim Super Bowl 20 in this house 7 seasons ago. Hi, everybody. Jim Nance along with Dan Fouts. Welcome to Week 2 on the NFL season. A week ago, the Saints were edged by the Eagles while the Bears pulled off some last-second heroics to triumph over the Lions. They'll need really a heroic effort today, I believe, out of that offensive line, Chicago.
Well, the Bears have to run the ball today against the Saints defense. They're going to have to do it with a patchwork offensive line. Troy Auzine will start at left tackle, just his second start. He's a rookie going against Pat Swilling. Bortz is out. Fontenot just makes his second start, and Keith Van Horn has a sore little toe on his right foot.
Time of possession last week, the Saints had their lowest total in 6 years. They could not run the football against the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles make it tough for everybody, and the Bears will make it tough again today for the Saints. This man here, Vaughn Dunbar, will be responsible. He's their number 1 pick for the Saints. He's got to have a big day running the ball.
Chris Gardocki will handle the kickoff chores as the Saints won the toss, and they will receive with Dalton Hilliard and Fred McAfee. Hilliard on the near side. Coming to McAfee straight away at the 3. What a run back. And he was tackled by the kicker, Chris Gardocki, after a 34-yard run back. Fred McAfee sets up Bobby Hebert. In his 7th season with this offensive line, Cooper Dombrowski, Joel Hilgenberg, Derek Kennard, Stan Brock, and Hobie Brenner. Vaughn Dunbar last week rushed for only 27 yards. Craig Hayward ran it only once. Turner and Early the receivers, and right away they go to Dunbar straight away for about 4. Running into that Bear defensive front. It starts out with Trace Armstrong, Steve McMichael, and Chris Zorich, who made that tackle. Jim Dent, Roper Singletary in his last year, and Morrissey of the linebackers. And the secondary, Stinson had an interception last week, should have had 2, Carrier and Paul as well. And the Bridge is back in uniform, and we'll see some action. It's 2nd and 6 for the Saints. Dunbar again. First down, New Orleans, across the 50.
Yeah, the Saints, if they're going to have success today, they're going to run it straight at the Bears. You see Zorich 97 on the center. This is one area of the field the Saints feel they can have success running the ball, and that's right between the tackles. That time it was between the guards. The Saints pick up a first down in their first series, rushing, something they couldn't do last week.
Kennard helped take out McMichael, and here's the running play with Hayward for about 2. McMichael on the hit this time.
I talked with Craig Hayward last week before the Philly game, Jim, and asked him if he had any advice for young Vaughn Dunbar. And he said to him, listen, you are so quick. Don't worry about making the moves to the outside. Take it north and south. And you saw on the first couple of plays, that's what Dunbar did exactly.
2nd down and 8. Martin in as the extra receiver. Off left tackle, and Singletary rode him for about a 3-yard gain for Dunbar.
Dunbar has a lot more power than people think, and I think he might have surprised Singletary that time. Might hit him in the hole, but at 5'10", 205 pounds, Dunbar strong enough to carry Singletary about 3 yards.
Dunbar will come out on 3rd and 5. Alonzo Spellman has come in for the Bears, a rookie first rounder from Ohio State, and it's shotgun time for the Saints. With the 3 receivers, Early, Martin, and Turner. Under a heavy rush, going for early, knocked away beautifully by Richard Fain. Jim Morrissey was supplying the heat on Hebert. There is a flag on the field.
And the reaction from the fans tell you that it's against Chicago.
Holding, number 21 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
The Bears were in a all-out blitz against Hebert that time, and Donnell Wolford was caught holding one of the receivers. That was an outstanding play by Richard Fain.
Spellman now back to the sideline as the Bears return to their starting defensive front.
But Hebert takes a wicked lick in his very first pass attempt. He took a lot of big shots last week against Philadelphia.
Sounds like you just took one.
Took many, pal.
First and 10 from the 39, and they'll bring Hayward out of the backfield. Play action for the Saints, and on target. First down, New Orleans at the 28. Caught by Floyd Turner for 11 yards.
Watch from the right side of the screen. After the fake, Hebert is going to get this ball off in the nick of time because Richard Dent is coming, and he drops him. This takes a toll on any quarterback, and you can see Hebert grimace there. When it takes a toll is in that fourth quarter, all those bruises start to add up.
Saints driving the football like the Eagles did against them last week on the game's opening drive.
Nothing like playing at home.
First and 10 from the 27. Running it with Dunbar. And stacked up by Jim Morrissey and others. Singletary also.
You see big number 60 there, Derek Kennard, and Stan Brock, 67. Some real power on the right side for the Saints, and then you add Ironhead Hayward there as the lead blocker, and the Saints are in good shape going against undersized defensive end Trace Armstrong when you compare him to those big fellas.
Jim Mora on the sidelines today for the 100th time for the Saints. Game number 100. 57 and 42 in his career, the winningest in New Orleans. Second down and 7. He'll send Martin to the far side. Hilliard in the game. And across the middle, incomplete, intended for Turner, knocked away by Carrier. They wanted interference here, Dan.
It was real close. Let's check it out. From the left side, the receiver will come into our picture. And there's Carrier going for the ball. Now in Chicago, you would expect that to be a non-call, but here in New Orleans, you would think the Saints might get the favorable call. Good double team here on Richard Dent. Keeps him about 5 yards away from the quarterback.
Third and 7, and they brought in Wesley Carroll, who caught a touchdown last week against Philadelphia. Spellman on the defensive line for the Bears. Lofting it right side, and he's open! Oh, he dropped the touchdown! Floyd Turner had it.
Let's see how it gets open. Here's Turner on the inside. Watch the pick play here by Eric Martin, 84. He just rubs gently against the coverage man there. And there's another pick on the outside. Mangum goes down, but Turner takes his eye off the ball as he's about to carry it in for 6.
So they'll bring in Morton Anderson, 42-yard attempt. He was 2 out of 3 last week, missed from 41. Barnhart on the hold, and no! Morton Anderson wide to the right. Mike Ditka and the Bears will have the football for the first time when we come back. 10-10 to go in the first.
You think this ball might have been deflected by Alonzo Spellman at the line of scrimmage here. Watch number 90 in his right hand with the black glove right about there. You see his hand move back as the ball comes in, and it's sent it off to the right side.
Bears will take over at their own 25 with 3 receivers in the game. Muster the single back. Muster for 2. That's all. Tackled by Les Miller, who starts today on the nose. in for the injured Jim Wilkes. Jimmy Harbaugh said this is the toughest place I've ever played, the Superdome, coming off his biggest thrill, the last-second touchdown pass to Tom Waddle. And the offensive front that you illustrated, very inexperienced today, especially on the left side, and all this noise. They started out with a single back, Muster, with, of course, C. Anderson. In fact, he's in there now, out of the eye, on 2nd and 8. For about 2. What about the Bears' game plan today?
Well, the one thing that when you play the Saints, and every team will tell you this, is that you don't want to get in the 2nd and long, 3rd and long, because the Saints bring in their nickel people, as they're doing right now, and then that does, it moves Swilling and Jackson as defensive end. Those two are two of the best at rushing the passers. Swilling, of course, last year led the league in sacks. So the Bears will be faced with a must-pass situation right here.
3rd and 6. Gentry is in there. They have 3 receivers lined up tight on the left, and now they'll bring Waddle over to the right side from the shotgun. Harbaugh goes down, and it's Pat Swilling back at the 22-yard line. They had 6 sacks last week. Did the Saints, and Swilling had 2 of them. He adds to his total already.
Well, and he had 2 men blocking on him that time. Dennis Gentry was helping Ozzie out.
Flag is down. The Gardocki punt comes back to Floyd Turner. He stays on his feet to the 36. Mark Green tackled him, but a flag back at the line of scrimmage. 47 yards on the Gardocki boot. Sides against the Saints, obviously nowhere near enough yardage to give the Bears the first down.
Defense, number 46, lined up offside. Penalty is refused. First down.
They'll refuse it. 42 yards they netted on that punt exchange. 47-yard punt, 5-yard run back. Saints will touch it for the second time. Scoreless in the first.
of the National Football League is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, with a clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Mercedes-Benz, builder of fine automobiles since 1886. And by U.S. Air. Every time we fly, everywhere we go, everything we do, U.S. Air begins with you.
William Perry is in for Chris Zorich on the defensive line for the Bears. Saints first and 10 from their 36. Play action on first down. Good time for Hebert. The pass behind his target, Floyd Turner. Svelte. William Perry gets penetration on this one.
And he does look like he's dropped quite a bit. He's about 220 now. Fighting, 320. That's quite 220. I think his left leg is 220.
I'd like to have the rights to that diet book if he's down to 220. He has 4 levels, weight levels clauses in his new 2-year contract.
He's got 4 levels of refusing.
Dunbar. Oh, he scoots all the way to the 45, about a yard shy of the first.
They're pounding against that right side of behind Brock and Kennard. See the block of Stan Brock here. Number 67 right here on Armstrong. Brock is in his 13th year. Been doing this for a long time. 34-year-older. Calls himself the sheriff. He likes to patrol those piles, pick off those little defensive backs. That time he took care of a big defensive end.
He's the all-time Saint, 172nd game today. On 3rd and 1, Hayward split back with Dunbar, and he is swarmed under by Perry. Is Hayward. That's close to the first. He might be short.
Well, here's the Fridge right in here. Watch the penetration against Dombrowski. He just throws Dombrowski to the side, gets in on the big fullback Hayward, and that will bring up a measurement. Another guy that had a nice play there was Richard Dent, who also has dropped some weight. Was real quick off the ball, got penetration in the backfield. But the Fridge looks decidedly quicker.
Oh, they got the first, just barely. Did you see the Fridge steal a quick glance up at the giant screen to take a look at that tackle on Hayward? Had to be very satisfying, that one. Although he is unable to keep the Saints short, barely make the first at the 46.
I don't think we'll see the Saints having the same success running between the tackles on this drive as they did on the first drive because of the Fridge.
Out of the I formation. Dunbar. Already his 6th carry, and he takes it out to the 50 on a 4-yard run. Giants and Cowboys. Let's get the update from Greg Gumbel.
Well, Jim, at the Meadowlands, the Cowboys started with a 72-yard drive. Emmitt Smith finished that off with a 5-yard run. And then Robert Williams recovered a blocked punt in the end zone. Cowboys off to a quick 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Back to Jim and Dan in the Superdome.
And I'll bet they've already started the chant at Giant Stadium.
Which one is that?
Braves must go. 2nd and 7. Hebert was hit when he threw it in the direction of Hobie Brenner.
You saw Hebert there look around. He had good protection, but wasn't real happy with the route that Floyd Turner ran for him. Good tight coverage in the secondary by the Bears there. Forced Hebert to come off to his secondary receiver, and that guy was covered too.
6 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. 3rd and 7 for New Orleans. William Perry now out of the lineup for the Bears in this passing down, and he's relieved by Spellman, who lines up at a tackle. Hebert off balance over the head of Hilliard.
Now you wonder how many hits Hebert can take this week after taking quite a few last week from the Eagles. Good protection to begin with. He gets knocked in the face that time by Spellman, and now Richard Dent drills him to this curve. Watch Dent, 95, working against Cooper. There's the twist move. Nice job by Cooper of passing off his man and picking up Spellman. Good teamwork in that offensive line there.
Tommy Barnhart to punt. Beautiful kick, but bounces into the end zone, bring it out to the 20. 51 yards on the punt. Tackles for the Bears. Van Horn on the left. Troy Ozine, the rookie from Cal, on the right.
Now we'll see this shoot. Van Horn calls this the Darth Vader shoot. I'm not sure he's going to be up there with the Air Jordan. But that's protecting a sore little toe that was stepped on last week by center Jerry Fontenot.
Going right up against Ricky Jackson. I don't think you can dunk in those shoes. I think you're right.
Just donuts, maybe.
1st and 10, and play action looking long. In the area of Wendell Davis. Harbaugh's first attempt.
Here's Van Horn, and watch as he gets help on the pass block here. The Bears will take turns helping out both Van Horn because of that sore right toe, and Ozine on the other side. You've got two of the best pass rushers in football in Swilling and Jackson, and the Bears have one injury on one side and a rookie on the other, so they got to have help from the back.
Good coverage by Gene Atkins. 2nd down 10. Chicago runs with Muster. Bulldozing across the 30, where he's hit by 4 Saints. Wojciechowski helped clear the way. Muster was the man that Sam Mills said was the Bear who hurt him last year running the football.
Now, this is really classic Bear football. Trapping from the offensive guards and tackles, and Mustard just has that patience, that long stride. He just seems to time things out with both guards, Wojciechowski and Thayer. That time a nice gain of 10 yards.
Mills said, we had a hard time with Mustard last year. He had 10 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown against the Saints here. The Bears 20-17 victory. Anderson lined up as a receiver. First and 10 pass play, almost picked off and caught by Davis. Another first. Going for the interception was Reginald Jones.
Let's check out young Troy Auzine, number 70, working against Pat Swilling. And he's got him all by himself. Bit of a face mask there as Swilling takes the inside track. Had to have his head screwed back on. Auzine, very confident young man.
Second round draft pick. Only offered 2 scholarships to go to college, Utah and Cal. Then developed into a football player at Cal. First and 10 running play. Right into Frank Warren. Neil Anderson for no gain. Saints without Jim Wilkes on the defensive line, the 12-year veteran, in practice on Wednesday, had a partial tear of the ligament in his right knee, and they didn't want to put him on IR because they think they can get him back before the 4 weeks.
What Wilkes did is he convinced Jim Mora not to put him on IR. He said, Coach, don't do that to me. I'm going to be back sooner than 4 weeks. Wilkes is a really important part of that defense because as the nose tackle, he can control that center of the line and let linebackers Mills and Johnson run free.
Dennis Gentry in now for Chicago. 3:20 to go in the first. Scoreless. And the second and 10 pass play to Anderson for a short gain. Give him 5 on that.
Real nice play there by Jimmy Spencer. The first-year guy, he came off his primary responsibility, looked back in, and there was Anderson catching that short flat pass, and he made a nice tackle.
Robert Goff runs in now to the Saints defensive line, and Ron Morris trots out into the Bears huddle. 3rd and 5 for Chicago.
This is a very manageable situation for the Bears. They have the ability to run the ball here or to throw it. 3rd and 5, the toughest situation for defense to defend.
Goff comes right in on Harbaugh, and he had to unload it. He came in untouched. Robert Pig Goff. Harbaugh never had a chance.
No, that was a slow developing play to Gentry, and Goff sped things up there that time for the quarterback.
Gardaki, first punt, measured 47 yards. Man who beat out Maury Buford to the Bears punting chores. Oh, Turner drops it, and it's recovered by Chicago. Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera got down there.
Floyd Turner, this has been a sore spot for the Saints. In fact, Turner was not the return man week 1. It was Patrick Newman. They replaced him this week with Floyd Turner because Jim Morris said this kid can catch it. He's already dropped the touchdown, too.
And he hasn't returned kicked since college. That ball kind of died on him, went down to his one knee, and now forget it. These white shirts are all over it. Rivera, the first man down in order to make the tackle, number 59. There he is. He pulls Turner away from the ball and grabs the ball.
I like the play where he just pulled Turner out of contention for the recovery. From the 13, in the eye. Anderson. He ducks under Vaughn Johnson and then is tackled by Les Miller.
You know, in talking to Harbaugh yesterday, he feels that the Bears are a lot better this year in this part of the field. Teams call it the red zone, the red area. And what he likes to see this year as opposed to years past is the fact that the Bears are more balanced run pass here. They're more likely to throw the ball than this year than they have been in the past. It's more of a 50-50 ratio going there.
The red zone inside of the opposition's 20. And last week, the Bears had it 4 times inside the Detroit 20. Came out with a field goal and 3 touchdowns. Second down, looking to the end zone. Harbaugh lofts it there. Knocked down by Reginald Jones, intended for Morris.
I think the key part of your description there, Jim, was that he lofted that ball in there to Morris. That allowed Reggie Jones, number 27, to come back and make the play and knock it away. There's a little push-off by Morris, but Jones can see the ball now, make the break on it, and knock it away and not interfere with the receiver. Outstanding play by Reggie Jones.
Still smarting from an interference call against him last week that the Saints disputed. Talked about it with the league, in fact. Third down and 8. Waddle near the first, inside of the 5. Brett Maxey on the hit. Waddle with a new contract yesterday, a 2-year extension. The hero for the Bears.
He's going to be just a little bit short, Jim. He got a new contract and a new bruise on this play. This is that now famous 13-wing jet pass play that won the game last week against Detroit and this game last year against the Saints.
The Bears have called timeout. 4th and less than a yard to go inside of the Saints 5. Edberg, will Stephon have to go another 5 sets? That's later today on CBS. 4th and less than a yard. Chicago's going for it from the Saints 5. There is a flag on the field. He was hammered by Swilling. Brett Maxey.
Larry Nemmers there, our referee. The white hat will tell us what happened there. It's going to be against the Bears, and you can give this 69,000.
Number 85 of the offense moves before the snap. Penalty is refused. First down.
There's 69,000 Saints fans. They can take a pat on the back from the defense of the Saints because they helped out. Jennings was offsides here. Illegal motion. Here he is at the line of scrimmage. Watch him just flinch, and that's enough to be offside. And you know he couldn't hear the snap count. I'm not sure the Bears would have made it anyway. It looked like Mustard came up about a half a yard short.
Great illustration why it is so tough to come in here and win at the Superdome if you're the visiting team.
Yeah, frustration written all over Jennings' face, too.
Dunbar trying the left side for 3.
We expected a defensive battle, and that's what we got, Jim. This first quarter just flew by. Saints really blew a great opportunity when Turner dropped the touchdown pass, and then Morton Anderson missed just wide to the right.
That Lions lead over the Vikings, courtesy of Mel Gray's punt return for a touchdown.
Don't say Mel Gray
around
in New
here, especially
not in front of Jim Mora.
They let him get away, Plan B, a couple of years back. 2nd and 7. Now the premier return man in the National Football League. Dent coming in on Hebert, then he's picked off. In the direction of Dunbar as time runs out in the first. Saints will start the second quarter with a 3rd and 7 from their own 8. That's the end of the first. How about the Saints' schedule? This isn't something they love. Their first 5 opponents all won at least 10 games last year.
And next week they have to go to that new dome in Atlanta. So you'll have a good time there with Hank Stram, I'm sure.
Looking forward to that. But the Saints Well, to win 11 games, I think Jim Morris said it best. We're going to have to play a lot better in 92 to win 11 games like we did in 91 because of that first-place schedule.
Well, and they're already down one. They lost last week to the Eagles in a game that they were in position at the end of the game to win, except for a questionable pass interference penalty. And they're backed up here to start the second quarter.
Then 3 receivers to the near side on 3rd and 7. Wesley Carroll to the right. Martin short of the first. He ran a pattern about a half-yard shy of where he needed to go, but there is a flag on the field.
Well, they're beating Hebert up, and this time they get caught. Looks like Spellman's a guilty party. Number 90, the guy with the big black shoes on there.
The helmet in the back. 15
He's
yards.
going to drill Hebert in the back right there. Just an instant late. But he's a rookie. He's going to get that call called against him every time.
What did you think of that call?
That was a great call. That hurt me.
Well, all quarterbacks love that call.
This man here is really something special. I call him a man. He's only 20 years old. He's a boy in a man's body, and he's going to be a real superstar. Just an instant late, Coach. Come on. How can they call that on me?
280 pounds, 5.4% body fat. Spellman. What a prospect. So the first down off the penalty. The Saints will operate from the 30. Quickly to the left side. And Turner, my goodness, what a first half disaster this has been.
And they have a saying down here that when the Saints do well, it goes cha-ching. This one goes cha-chang. Right between the eights there. And this is a nightmare for a first half for Turner. Dropped 1 touchdown pass, fumbled a punt, and now has dropped a very easy first down pass from Hebert.
They take him out of the game and replace him with Martin. 3 receivers in all. Early and Carroll are the other 2. Hilliard in the backfield. 2nd and 10. Will run the draw. Flag is down. Could wipe out the big run by Dalton Hilliard. Indeed.
That's really a good call, though, by Carl Smith to run that draw.
Holding, number 60, 10 yards, still second down.
But Derek Kennard will get called for the flag on the holding call. But with that type of pressure, the way that Smith, quarterback, is getting tagged back there, good to mix a draw in every now and then.
Nice little battle being waged here on the sidelines with the assistant coaches, the coordinators. The Saints offensive coordinator, Vince Tobin, the Bears defensive coordinator. They were former assistants together under Mora with the Stars.
They feel they both have a pretty good idea of what each other's going to do, so that kind of nullifies the whole deal.
2nd down and 20. 6 defensive backs in for Chicago. Another flag. Like holding again. Hebert takes off to the sideline.
And who does he run into but William Perry? You know, he's getting tackled and beat up by everybody on that defensive line. This is going to come back, though, holding against the Saints.
Holding, number 60, offense. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
You know, here he's getting tagged by Spellman. He's getting hit by Dent, and he runs out of bounds into the soft, waiting arms of William, the refrigerator Perry. That's too many men on the field, isn't it?
Had they not had the penalty, I would have given them credit for the tackle.
Very gently. I'm sure that Perry, when he gets between the lines, won't be as gentle.
2nd and 29. Back-to-back holding calls against Derek Kennard. Now what do you do?
Well, they'll be conservative here. I doubt that they'll try to get it all back in one play. It's only second down. They have this down and third down to go, so look for an intermediate pass here.
How about a run? Hilliard dancing around just across the 10 and out to the 13. Talked about the coordinators. There's Vince Tobin. You know, his team, his defensive unit felt that, well, here they are. Tobin.
There's Vince right up here. There's Jim Moore down here. There's a real good-looking guy. I'm not sure who he is, but I like the way he looks.
I thought it was you. You mean that's not? You didn't play for the Stars?
I was moonlighting.
What were you doing with a 90-something jersey on?
Trying to hit a quarterback.
Third and 25. I'm sorry. Barely beats the down clock by a second. Going to Martin. He was covered by Donnell Wolford, and Richard Dent applied some pressure. Donnell Wolford.
A real nice return last week of 50 yards against Detroit that special teams coach Danny Abramowitz said, well, we had a lot of real good blocking on that play.
So after defensing the pass, he'll be back to retrieve this punt of Tommy Barnhart, who stands on the goal line. Spiral to the far side, bounces toward the middle instead of going out of bounds, so down it at the 35. That's 51 yards, two 51-yard punts for Barnhart in that span before he got it together, drove the Saints for a touchdown to bring them within two, but never got the football back. Play action, now throwing off balance. Good one. Muster has it into Saints territory and down at the 43. Well, how are the Redskins coming back after Monday night? Let's find out. Take it away, Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim. On the punt to Washington's Brian Mitchell by Atlanta, look at the lateral to Desmond Howard for his first NFL touchdown, 58 yards. But on the ensuing kickoff, Deion Sanders returned it 100 yards for a touchdown. It's 14-7 Redskins with 11:50 to play in the first half, Jim.
That is amazing. How about Deion coming right back?
Just like stealing third base.
Anderson, written down by Ricky Jackson. That was a blowout game a year ago. Atlanta at Washington, I believe 56-17. Maybe that return by Sanders. They were down 14 at that time. Maybe that'll ignite them.
Now look for the Redskins to bounce back. They were embarrassed on national TV against the Cowboys.
Second down and 8 from the Saints 40. Scoreless ball game in the second quarter. Muster. First hit by Warren and later finished off by Sam Mills. And Pat Swilling.
Bears have always had success running the ball against New Orleans. Munster's off to a good start this afternoon. But that's a nice average there in the last 4 meetings for Chicago, 192 yards on the ground. And against this defense, that's a phenomenal number.
Third and 4. They'll spread it out, 4 receivers. Harbaugh will run for it. He'll make it easily. And wisely slides down at the 28. A 9-yard run by Harbaugh. First down, Chicago.
Watch this job out here by Van Horn and Ricky Jackson here. Single man-to-man blocking. Van Horn goes out with his eyes right now. Jackson doesn't get that quick start. And that leaves Harbaugh with a big hole up the middle. He picks up the first down.
Dallas has added 2 field goals, now leading 20-0. Tampa Bay blitzing Green Bay in the second. 1st and 10. Flag down. Looks like it'll be a holding call against Chicago.
Yeah, I think they got the rookie that time, Troy Ozine, working against Pat Swelling.
Holding, offense, number 73, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Wojciechowski called on the holding call.
Let's see if it was Wojo or the rookie. Here's Swelling, that's all I know, and he's going to come on this side here. And it is Wojciechowski, and he takes the takedown there. It looked like he might have had a grab on Warren as well.
A couple of ways you could have gone with that call.
Interesting switch up there on the pass protection, bringing the guard out there for the linebacker.
1st and 20, back to the 38. Setting up the screen, Muster has it. Muster out of bounds at the 24. Frank Warren helped chase him.
Boy, you know, there's just sometimes a player will have a team that he performs well against, whether it's a game plan or just pure luck. Muster is killing the Saints so far today. He's got 2 receptions for 36 yards. That was a big play on 1st down to get the Saints back into a normal situation at 2nd and about 7.
2nd and 7, right at the 25. Neil Anderson dives for about 4. Vaughn Johnson with the first contact. And with that carry, Anderson has 10 yards on the game. Significant because he has now rushed for 5,000 yards in his career. That's the 3rd highest total in Chicago history. Only about, 12,000 behind Walter.
But he's only in his 7th year. Tough to play as long as the great one, Walter Payton. But Anderson's having a heck of a career for himself.
3rd down and 3. Oh, intended for Morris. Jimmy Spencer on the coverage.
Boy, Harbaugh knows he missed one there. That was going to be a touchdown if it was thrown just a little bit shorter for Morris. All out blitz by the Saints. Morris got inside the coverage. Watch it on the right side of the screen here, working against Toy Cook. That's Jimmy Spencer, actually. Nice move to get inside, and the ball is just overthrown.
Kevin Butler, 2 out of 3 last week. He missed from 41. This will be a 39-yard attempt. Butler opens the scoring midway through the 2nd. Points at last. Field goal for Butler. 30 Eastern. It all begins next Saturday. Gardocki handling the kickoff chores. Near side to McAfee. Boy, he had a good run back to start the game. Here he goes again. Fred McAfee tumbling to the 38. Darren Lewis and John Mangum on the tackle. There's another timeout on the field. The Bears lead it 3-0. It's going.
They've got to be feeling pretty lucky that they're only down 3-0. But this is the most patient head coach and offensive coordinator in football. They're not going to change anything at this point. They're going to still pound the ball to Dunbar and hope to get Hebert a little bit better pass protection.
Chris Fort now in at right tackle, replacing Stan Brock. Dunbar. Football knocked loose. Singletary jarred it loose and recovered by the Saints.
This is a draw play to Dunbar. and the Bears aren't buying any of it, being that it's just first down. They're playing for the run. There's Tim Ryan in there. It looks like this ball is ripped out by Singletary, and fortunate for the Saints that they had one of their offensive linemen down there to make the recovery. How many times has Singletary done just that?
Hilliard is the single back, second down and 10. 6:30 remaining in the first half. 3-0 Chicago. Hilliard, quick scamper across the 40 to the 41. Wolford and William Perry ran him down.
Talk about pressure. Under pressure and under Chicago Bear uniforms, Hebert been knocked down 3 times. And I'd have to think that it's a few more than that. He's thrown the ball 10 times. Every time I look back there, he's picking himself off the ground.
Quarterbacks are so sensitive about those things. You know, last week he was sacked only once by the Eagles, which was very misleading because just like this today, he was constantly knocked to the turf. Injury timeout. We'll be right back. 86, 46-10. Among other highlights, William Perry scored in that game. He sure looks good today. This will be the site, by the way, of the Final Four this April. It returns to New Orleans. 3rd and 5 for the Saints. Wide open. Hilliard. Oh, coming on quickly to make the hit. Near the first was Wolford. 6-yard gain, though. That's enough for the first, Dan.
Hilliard's had such a fine career when he's been healthy here for the Saints. He's been relegated now to third down duty. This time he just barely picks up the first down as Wolford came over and really laid it to him, but Hilliard had just enough to get it.
Detroit scoring on a punt return by Mel Gray and a blocked field goal return for a touchdown by Jenkins, leading the Vikings 14-3. 1st and 10 New Orleans, trailing 3-0, 5 minutes to go, first half. Armstrong, there's your sack. Trace Armstrong, he had one last week, and now another one. Singletary really came through there quickly and then was picked off, Dan.
Yeah, he's picked off by Dalton Hilliard, number 21 here. Singletary just with a great knack of anticipating the count. Hebert has no idea that Hilliard picked him up. The pass protection was pretty good, but Hebert ran out of there right to where Armstrong was, and that's the Bears' first sack of the day. Nice job by Hilliard picking up the sack, and Hebert running for his life. Who could blame him?
Armstrong said, you know, we're coming in here as though we lost the Detroit game because they really gave up a late touchdown with a minute to go, put the Lions in front. They weren't happy after that. There's a missed opportunity to Hobie Brenner. Again, big pressure. David Tate, safety blitz, knocking Hebert to the floor.
Yeah, they're lining up and buying tickets on that defensive line and linebackers. Who's next to take a shot at the quarterback? And now you're seeing the effects of all those hits on the quarterback. Hebert just a little bit off target that time.
By the way, we saw Quinn earlier shaken up. He is fine. In fact, he's back in for the Saints with 4 receivers on 3rd down and 19. Long ball from Hebert. Incomplete. Underthrew his target. Richard Bain, excellent coverage. And that pass was going to Quinn.
Now, when you draw on the chalkboard, he says, okay.
Last week against the Eagles. But this man right here has been an excellent addition for the Bears. What? Cincinnati in Plan B, and that's a perfect job of defending against the pass. Nice job by Early to make sure Payne doesn't pick that one off.
Barnhart has had 2 51-yard punts in this game. This one not as long. Wolford back to the 15, across the 20 to the 24. 9-yard run back, 46 yards on the punt. I want to apologize. We know that many of you have lost our pictures from the Superdome, and we'll try to keep you on top of it with a little radio-like call here, Dan Fouts.
Well, you're the wordsmith, aren't you?
I love these CBS radio opportunities, but rarely do you get them on CBS television. They're lined up in the eye with the deep back being Mark Green. In motion, Waddle to the far side, inside handoff. Darren Lewis as they go with the two backup running backs, and Lewis scoots out to the 30-yard line. That's a 6-yard run for the Bears on first. Back and set them up for the same play that beat the Lions last week. Let's look back to a year ago.
Formation, snap to Harbaugh, rushes on, throws the right side, got Waddle cutting left to the end zone, touchdown!
That was 13 wing jet. Was that you yelling in the background?
No, I thought that was you calling the play-by-play.
All right, to start the second half, touchback. Caught by Mark Green. They'll bring it out to the 20, but a flag is down on the field in the area where the Bears kicked it.
The amazing thing you see about that play of last year, then you look at last week's game against Detroit, and then the first time the Bears get down in a similar situation, they throw the exact same play, and Waddle makes the grab. One of 2 catches for him on the day, or 3 rather.
Offside, number 37 of the kicking team, 5 yards, 3 kicks.
Again, Douglas, and he is back in there, and they'll kick it one more time.
Yeah, that's one of those inexcusable mistakes on Jimmy Spencer that time for the Saints. All you have to do when you're on that kickoff team is watch the kicker. You can't cross that 35-yard line until the kicker kicks the ball. Yeah, I read that in the rule book.
Yeah, where did they teach you that?
First grade. Football 101.
Jim Harbaugh is 11 of 18, 114 yards. Hebert on the other side, 3 of 14 for 23. So one more time for Morton Anderson. The Saints were offside. Green from the 1. And little did it matter. He's tackled at the 20, maybe the 21.
Great kickoff by Morton Anderson. Pinned Green to the right corner. By the time he got the ball, a lot of hang time underneath that kick. Check out where the Bears have been running the ball. You can see they're favoring the middle to the right side. They told us yesterday they felt that they could run it up the middle. And it's been Brad Musser who's been most successful.
44 yards on 13 carries. Waddle reverses his field. First play of the second half. And Anderson for about a yard. Neil Anderson. Boy, it was a tumultuous time with Anderson and Ditka. It was finally cleared up about 3 weeks ago. They weren't talking.
That's not a real healthy situation to have your best offensive player and your head coach not talking to each other.
Neil said it got to a point with trade rumors, people saying I was over the hill. I thought maybe a change in the scenery would be better, but that never happened, never came to fruition. And last week he was back scoring 2 touchdowns. And they've repaired their differences. 2nd and 9, and knocked away by Jones, intended for Davis.
I talked to Jimmy Mora Jr., the Saints defensive back coach, about Reggie Jones, and he says this man is going to be a real special defensive back in this league. He's smooth. He's got great speed, but he's one of those guys a lot like Mel Blount of the Steelers, the great cornerback that I had to go up against so many times. Good size, 6'1", 200 pounds, but he's very fluid, great athlete.
Well, the Bears have tried to stay out of 3rd and long situations, and of their 8 third down attempts. 6 of them were 5 yards and in. But this one's 3rd and 9. 4 receivers in. Through the hands of his intended receiver, Wendell Davis. And the Bears will punt.
That's Gene Atkins with the big hit there.
What was it Atkins said yesterday about what kind of player he would characterize himself as?
Well, his hero was Lester Hayes of the Raiders, but he says, I'm not a dirty player like Lester. He says, I'm a nice dirty.
Nice dirty.
And I asked him what that meant. He said, well, after I knock him down, I help him back up.
Got a new punt returner in for the Saints. It's Newman, who was running him back last week. Patrick Newman. Oh, flag is down. It'll bring it back. He was finally tackled out of bounds by Mark Green at the 40 of Chicago. "26 yards on the run back, 45 yards on the punt, but
Number 92,
run back will be erased.
illegal block in the back. Penalty being forced from the foul. 10 yards, first down.
Damon Winston.
That really hurts the Saints. That's their best punt return of the year. Watch from the left side of the screen there, 92 just gets the push there. And about 6 officials saw it. They could have got Cedric Mack right there pushing on Mangum. But it's going to all come back. Saints really needed to have something good happen for their punt return team. It was disastrous last week against Philadelphia and hasn't been much better this week.
Same starting group is in for the Saints. Step Turner is out, Martin is in. He's in a slot to the, actually he's wide to the right, and there goes Early in motion. On first down, Dunbar, about 5, maybe 4, hit first by Chris Zorich. Now you showed us earlier where the Bears have been running the football. How about New Orleans?
They started off running real well right up the middle, but that was before the Bears put William Perry in the game. But they're still concentrating on running right behind Derek Kennard and Joel Hilgenberg.
Tommy Stowers is in as an extra tight end. Single back is Dunbar on 2nd and 6. Boy, you talk about threading the seam. That was to Hobie Brenner. Seemed like about 2 Bears could have taken a swipe at it.
We know Mark Carrier got real close to it. How this ball got through. 2 weeks in a row now that a defensive back for the Bears has let a ball that could have been intercepted. Brenner's on the left side of the screen, number 85. He comes down the middle. Watch number 20. Carrier. The ball goes right through his hands and sticks into Brenner.
For a gain of 17 from the 48. Carroll in motion. Setting up a reverse, no, a fake. Now looking long. Martin's wide open at the 25. Touchdown, New Orleans. Two-yard touchdown pass off of a fake reverse to the all-time Saint receiver, Eric Martin.
And in a town that's famous for razzle-dazzle, finally, the Saints offense uses a little. Great result. Turner was so wide open, he almost fell down.
Morton Anderson has made 95 straight extra points. This one has given them the lead. 7-6 New Orleans with 12:09 to go, third quarter.
Watch the reverse here to Wesley Carroll, the fake by Hebert. Good pass protection, and then as wide open a receiver as you'll ever see as Martin beats Wolford and the secondary for the easy touchdown. Fake reverse. Early is going to go to the post. That's where Hebert wants to go at first. But watch the 2 safeties here. They'll bite on this fake. They haven't seen yet that Hebert has the ball. Now it's the out and up move by Eric Martin, he beats Wolford with no help deep, 52 yards and in the end zone.
Morton Anderson will not allow them to run it back.
The key to it, though, is the safeties couldn't see where the ball was. Watch the fake here to the halfback, now to the wide receiver. And Carrier and Paul have no idea that Hebert still has the ball.
Dunbar with a good block, too, to give Hebert enough room back there. Saints 7, Chicago 6.
That's only Hebert's 5th completion in 16 attempts.
2 for 2 in this half. The pass to Hobie Brenner and the touchdown to Martin. Harbaugh hit when he threw it, but he completes it to Anderson out to the 27. The rush by Swilling.
I think that's the thing that has always impressed me about Harbaugh is his ability to take a lick. Watch Ozine working against Swilling, and this is a rookie learning from the master. Now that should be called a penalty. You can't hit a quarterback in the head. Swilling may be intentional, maybe not, but he did hit Harbaugh in the head. Should have been called for roughing the old passer.
2nd down and 4. Muster spinning near the first.
I think they're going to give it to him.
And the spot's across the 30.
It's nice to have a fullback at 6'3", that big, to get that extra half a yard for the first down. A lot of people criticize Ditka and the Bears for taking Muster in the first round. Has had some injury problems in his career, but he is a unique type of fullback. Great receiver out of the backfield, and just seems to find a way to pick up important yardage.
First down for Chicago. Here they come. Knocked away by Maxey, intended for Muster. Troy Aikman has thrown a touchdown pass to Michael Irvin. It's now 34-0 Dallas over the Giants.
And they're taking up collections for Ray Hanley's law school tuition.
I think that might be it today for him. I really do.
Brutal media there in New York, but Hanley has done very little to get them on his side. And his team have played poorly for him.
2nd and 10. Anderson cutting back. Great run out to the 45. 14 yards and a nice block that time by Ozine to help free him.
Yeah, let's take a look at young Troy here on the left side here. It's going to be the counter play, but watch, they're going to have a nice little wall here down the left side. The fake to the right side, and now behind Thayer and Jennings, there's Ozine downfield. And this is the Bears' best running play of the day. They are answering the challenge. The Saints hit the long touchdown pass, but the Bears are showing that, hey, this game ain't over for their offense. They're coming back real nicely.
Into the I formation, receivers to the right on 1st and 10. Play action. Harbaugh tucks it in. Sprints for the first down. 13 yards. Harbaugh with that carry now has rushed for over 1,100 yards in his career.
What are you looking at me for? I don't know what that means. I don't think I had 11
Were you
yards.
in positive figures?
You know, the amazing thing is I scored 11 touchdowns in my 15-year career.
What was the longest carry?
Half a yard.
Okay.
You bet. But that was a big carry for Harbaugh. That's 2 plays now in a row that the Bears have picked up big yardage on the ground.
Send Anderson out as a receiver. He's at the top of your screen. Muster is the single back on 1st and 10. Good pass, but little gain. Wide open was Jennings, and Swilling denies the advance.
but it is an advance, and it is a short gain. But the thing is those offensive linemen for the Bears, they look down the field and they say, hey, listen, we're moving pretty good here. We've got 14 yards from Anderson. We got 12 from Harbaugh. Now we pick up a nice short pass. This is how you build momentum. This is how you build confidence in your offense, and it starts with that offensive line. They're doing a great job up front.
Second down and 6. From the Saints 39. Harbaugh drills it for the first. Wendell Davis at the 29-yard line.
And you notice Harbaugh getting back 5 steps, getting rid of the ball. This allows the protection. Watch as the Bear line will give Harbaugh a nice little pocket to step up into. Van Horn will run his man deep. Harbaugh has nobody near him. Clear lane of vision and an easy throw to make.
So driving right back after the Saints took the lead on a 52-yard touchdown pass to Eric Martin. 7-6 Saints midway through the third. On first down, going to the outside, Mustard tampering away from Sam Mills and near another first. Wojciechowski with a nice block on that right side.
That may be the first time that Mustard's ever been referred to as scampering away from anybody at 6'3".
Showed a little burst, but he did get away from Mills.
He has surprising speed. Long strider, gets in behind Wojciechowski there, and again it's that trap play. Bears have always been excellent, whether it's Mark Bortz or Tom Thayer. In this case, it's Wojciechowski with the trap block, leading Mustard up the field.
2nd and 1. And to the eye. Anderson looking around for the first down. He has it. Dragged to the floor by Vaughn Johnson. These two running backs, Anderson and Mustard, really dogged last year because they both were not 100%, playing with hamstring injuries. Mustard still with back problems that arise, but get them back healthy, and it's a different story for this team.
You really see the momentum shifting to the Bears now, and it's because of the play of all those first-round picks. Anderson in 86, Harbaugh 87, Mustard 88. All those wonderful picks are paying off for the Bears right now.
1st and 10 from the Saints 16. Harbaugh wants to throw on first down, throws it away. Oh, they're going to call him for grounding. Wayne Martin with pressure on the quarterback.
Intentional grounding on the quarterback. Throwing the pass intentionally out of bounds.
Now, this is a terrible call by Larry Nemmers. Watch Harbaugh just start to roll out after his primary receiver is covered. Sure, there's pressure on him, but that's not intentional grounding. Anderson's right there in the picture.
So is Waddle.
Lost it down.
Lost it down as well.
Well, it was going to be lost it down anyway because of the incomplete pass, but here's the receiver, Anderson, and here's Waddle. The ball is going to end up right out here. This should not be called intentional grounding. The benefit of the doubt has to go to the quarterback. And I know one thing, Larry Nemmers never played quarterback at any time in his life. He doesn't know what that feeling's like. You're carrying around a grenade, you got to get rid of it somewhere.
Timeout called by Harbaugh. He came to the line and called timeout with 6:22 to go in the third quarter. 7-6.
Sometimes it's the little things in football. This is Jay Hilgenberg and Harbaugh last year. And look at the angle. Because Hilgenberg gets down so low, Harbaugh's vision is now forced down as well. The difference now, there's a different angle for Harbaugh. He's up higher, and he can see the defense now that Fontenot is his center at 6'3" and a different type of stance than Jay Hilgenberg has.
2nd down and 20. Under center. And the draw to Mustard. Gets some of it back to the 20-yard line, about 7 yards on the run. Jimmy Spencer by the ankles with the tackle.
Now, Muster is really having an outstanding afternoon. He likes to play against these things. Watch after he gets into the secondary and gets a few blocks. Watch the sharp cut he makes to avoid the hit. There are 3 Saints coming at him right about now. He avoids the dive and 2 other guys and gets positive yardage.
3rd down and 14. Harbaugh almost intercepted as Ricky Jackson took down the quarterback on the release. Gene Atkins had his hands on it for a moment.
Real good job in the secondary. Just a 4-man rush for the Saints, but watch, there's just no place for Harbaugh to put this one. And then the pressure gets to him. He was expecting Gentry to circle a little bit farther over the middle of the field, but that was taken away. Almost an interception for New Orleans.
Butler has been good from 34 and 30 yards. This one is 37 yards for the lead. No good. Wide to the left. Tyrone Leggett was coming in on him. And the Saints have the lead with 5:30 to go in the 3rd. Or the only coach to lead the Saints to the playoffs. His 100th game they posed yesterday for the team picture. And longest tenures with one team. He's 5th in the National Football League. Greg Hayward for a powerful 5. You know, we asked Mora, I tried to come up with what was the most memorable game of the first 100.
I really liked his answer to that penetrating question. He says, I hate that question.
I hate that question.
And I don't know why. You'd think he'd have 1 or 2 great memories. That's a lot of games. He did say that he would like to be around for 100 more because that would mean one thing, that his team have been successful.
They certainly have been in his first 7 years. Steve Perpillo is in at right guard on 2nd down and 4. Good 6-yard run by Hayward. Hebert going long for Early. Down at the Chicago 30. "45 yards to Twin Early."
Boy, you got to hand it to Carl Smith and Bobby Hebert. Again, it's a play-action pass. They're going to try and hit Early on the post, but it's the fake in the backfield. Early will get behind Donnell Wolford. For some reason, Wolford stops there, and the ball is on target. Big gain for New Orleans.
Dunbar. Quick burst for about 5.
But the key on this play to Early, the one to Martin, has been the play-action fake. And then you go back, why are they successful with the play action? Well, you just see it there. Dunbar picks up 6 yards on that play, and on 1st down before this play here, it was the play action. Watch the fake. Hebert does a nice job of hiding the ball, stepping up in the pocket and throwing it.
He has 2 tight ends in there on 2nd down and 5. Dunbar 3 yards short at the 1st. Steve McMichael with back-to-back tackles.
The amazing thing to me on both of those plays is the reaction of Donnell Wolford and the secondary. On the touchdown to Martin, both safeties had no idea where the ball was. And on this play, for some reason, Wolford looked back into the backfield and saw that there was a fake. He lost his receiver, his responsibility early, and he shouldn't do that.
Shotgun time, 3rd and 3 from the Bears' 23. First down to Newman, the 5th receiver coming into the game, seeing action with the Turner injury, and Patrick Newman has his first catch. First down, Saints. Hebert is now 4 for 4 in this half for 117 yards. He was 3 out of 14 in the first 2 quarters. Lock formation to the right. Stowers, the extra tight end, tucked in on the left side. Dunbar, the single back. Fumble! Right into the hands of Steve McMichael. Just rolling on the carpet.
It looked like McMichael had a string on that ball. It went by him, he yanked on the string, and it came rolling right back to him when he's laying on the ground. Here's McMichael right here. Watch the penetration. He'll strip the ball. Actually, it's William the Refrigerator Perry with the left hand. He knocks it back to Mongo, and the Bears have it. There's William the Refrigerator Perry. Let's check him out in his debut for 92. Here he is right here. You can't hardly miss him. Watch as he'll knock the ball out of Dunbar's hand with his right arm, left arm, and the ball will bounce right back to McMichael. Now, McMichael's got to figure out a way to get off the turf, but Carrier comes in with a nice blind side and knocks him down.
Bridge is also happy because he's not the biggest Bear anymore.
No,
the rookie Louis Age, who has surpassed him.
6'7", 340.
Grew up here in New Orleans at St. Augustine High School. Play action. Knocked down by Sam Mills. He was looking for Neil Anderson.
Well, and there's sometimes where you've got to throw the ball over the linebacker's head. Maybe Harbaugh, seeing that Sam Mills was the linebacker, only 5'9", didn't feel that Sam could get up for that one. Anderson was running free in the secondary. Would have been a big gain for the Bears. But Sam Mills makes another big play.
And Sam the third will be critiquing Dad about his hands on that play. He just started playing football this week. Pop Warner. Two of them, the two Sams, work out together. Hebert, or Harbaugh to Morris. Big play for the Bears. All these quarterbacks with the letter H. And it's near the 50. 26 yards on that pass.
And this kick is good. No, it's no good. It's off to the right.
He's at the U.S. Open coming up in the men's final today. Sampras won it in 1990, and Ed Burke's the 91 champion. Joins Summerall, Pat Summerall, Mary Carrillo, and Tony Trabert, along with Tim Ryan, coming up at 4 Eastern time. Darren Lewis in the game for Chicago. Pump fake, Harbaugh. Down the sidelines, intended for Wendell Davis. Toy Cook on the coverage. 1 minute to go in the third quarter, and
we have a one-point game, and it's almost as if both these teams expect this type of game. Feel comfortable in this situation. You don't see any panic on Morris' face. Ditka looks real calm. Craig Landry looks a little worried back there, but he's got to call the plays.
What percentage of the plays would you say Landry's calling?
I think he's up there in the high 90s. Him and Harbaugh appear to be on the same page and working well together.
Second down 10. Harbaugh to his tight end, Jennings, and doubled up short of the first, but in Saints territory. Cook and Jones, the two corners, stopped Keith Jennings. Jennings, by the way, is the brother of Stanford Jennings. He's played for the Cincinnati Bengals.
And he was a real good pass receiver out of the backfield for the Bengals. I saw Jennings before the game, and he was wearing earplugs. And I said, do you really think that'll help? He says, these earplugs aren't for the crowd. They're so I don't have to listen to Pat Swilling talking trash all day.
Total tune-out. 3rd and 4.
Selective hearing.
20 seconds to go in the third quarter. And Harbaugh incomplete, almost caught off the deflection by Ron Morris. First was intended for Gentry. Did he take the earplugs out to listen to you?
I tell you what, of course he did. My voice can penetrate any old earplug. But Harbaugh, I tell you what, those fingers of Gentry right now, he's going to have to go over and put them in some cold water because Harbaugh threw him a real burner. That ball didn't even lose any steam, went all the way down the field to Morris.
69,000 Saint fans hold their breath on every punt return opportunity. Patrick Newman won't handle this one. Skardaki, where did it go out? Good one, 8-yard line. 5 seconds to go, third quarter. Anderson has been troubled with tendonitis in his kicking leg, and he's been getting a little ice treatment on the Saints bench. And that's something worth monitoring because we appear headed to a field goal finish. 7-6 Saints at the moment as we're about to have one more play in the third quarter.
Yeah, you always have to wonder about a guy with an injury such as Anderson or Joe Montana. If it's the right arm and you got to throw, and if it's the left leg you got to kick, and those are injured, you're in trouble.
First down, New Orleans. Play action from the end zone. Brenner open. Brenner stumbling around and doing a good job just to hold on to it. And he's out near the 30 to end the third quarter. 21-yard pass play. Big Hobie was trying to get his feet on balance. And at the end of 3 quarters, New Orleans 7, Chicago 6. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. Start the final quarter. They're only scoring in the third, a touchdown pass of 52 yards. Hebert to Eric Martin, giving the Saints the lead. On 1st and 10 to start the fourth, pump fake. Dent chases him out of the pocket. And the catch by Hayward for no gain. In fact, maybe lost a little yardage.
Well, the Saints are going to go with the play action, but it's not going to fool these two guys this time. Dent is going to get into his man, Cooper, on the right side, push him away, then Cooper gives away the inside. Hebert takes a long time because he wanted to go deep with this one. Good coverage in the secondary by Wolford that time. Forced the negative gain for New Orleans, if there's such a thing.
Negative gain of 1. 2nd and 11. Jumbo shrimp. And here's the pass down the middle to Carroll. Touchdown! It's going to be for the Saints. Wesley Carroll. 72 yards. Right through the arms of Marcus Paul.
Paul cannot believe it, but you have a hot quarterback in Hebert this second half. He's rolling all 7s. 7 for 7 and a 72-yarder. But this ball, it sure looked like it was going to be picked off or at least knocked down by Paul. But Carroll got it for his second touchdown of the year.
Anderson to make the difference 8. That's a critical kick. 14-6 New Orleans.
Here's Marcus Paul. His responsibility is to be the deepest man on the field. He sees the man coming. He sees Carroll come right down the middle. He breaks on the ball, jumps up in the air, and he deflected the ball right into Carroll's hands, and you can forget it from there.
Well, Bobby Hebert in the first half, to compare the numbers, was 3 of 14 for 23 yards. has not missed in the second half. Floyd Turner, a broken leg for the Saints.
Hebert has always been considered one of the finer competitors in football. He's getting a lot of help from his offensive line. Carl Smith is doing a good job of mixing in a lot of play action because that is keeping the Bears from really teeing off on Hebert in the pocket. He hasn't been sacked in the second half, and he's been rarely knocked down.
That report on Turner as a break comes from the Saints. And we've got an update coming your way. Let's head it up north. Take it away, Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, at Tampa, Vinny Testaverde is having a great day. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns. He rushes for this one from 2 yards out, right over Adrian White. He's 20 of 22, 355 yards. Tampa Bay up 31-3 in the fourth, Jim.
Say it for Vinny, that's the game of his career at Tampa Bay, and maybe he's finally found a coach where it all starts to click now for him.
Or maybe he should just get the blue more often.
Or maybe it's the orange pants.
It's a big day for Vinny T.
Waddle underneath the coverage. Got a nice block out there by Green. And he goes across the 35 to the 36.
That's what you were talking about, Jim. 23 yards only in the first half. The big number, of course, the 2 touchdowns here in the second half. But remember, Floyd Turner, before he was injured, he dropped a sure touchdown pass at about the 1-yard line. That was in the initial drive for the Saints.
First down, Bears. Green. Maxey took a hold of him in the secondary. Chicago needs 2 scores to win this game against this Saints defense in the Superdome. No easy task.
And they're not a team that is known for their passing game. If Harbaugh has to throw more than 35 passes today, you can see that they're not going to have a lot of success. But this is a new year, and Ditka feels that Harbaugh's a much better quarterback this year.
And off of that 1-6 stat, you can see 32 attempts for Harbaugh. All right, who jumped first?
Well, somebody in black pants and white shirt.
False start prior to the snap. Number 70, 5 yards, still second down.
Hey, talk about jumbo shrimp. How about having a false start after the snap, huh?
That's right. How do you do that? Roy Auzine. Let's check out his stance.
Well, Ditka says it's the ugliest stance he's ever seen.
He not only said that, he said it makes you sick to look at it. We're trying to work on it, but...
And Troy admits that he's not real pleased with the way it looks, but he's a natural right-hander, and he goes with the left-handed stance, and he's not real comfortable.
All kind of crooked. Harbaugh to Green, and ridden out by Spencer.
You get back to this 8-point difference, Jim, and that is a huge difference because the Bears have to score a touchdown and a field goal to go ahead. They're not known for their ability to come from behind. Neither of these teams do that very well.
Well, except for those last-minute drives that Harbaugh executed. But you're talking about by more than 1 score.
Multiple come from behind.
Okay, all right. Just one clarification.
Well, that's a new statistic in the NFL. Multiple come from behind.
Third down, 3. Man's wide open. Oh, my goodness. It was Ron Morris.
Yeah, that'll make you take your helmet off, your headband off. Harbaugh misses a guy that right about now should be spiking it for a touchdown. Ron Morris wide open. It's on the right side of the screen. Harbaugh's going to get good protection from that patchwork offensive line. And his reaction tells the story.
Artaki with a high one. Fair catch called by Newman. And he has it at the 11. 11:41 remaining. Saints trying to win their home opener. Saints with an 8-point lead and the football. Just under 12 minutes to go in the game. In fact, last year the Saints let 5 fourth-quarter leads get away from them in losses to first the Bears, then San Diego, Atlanta, San Francisco, and Dallas. But they have the football and the 8-point lead.
But in the Bears' favor, the Saints will take over deep in their own end. And with their conservative nature, you would expect them to try and run it out of here.
Hayward tries to throw a lead block for Dunbar. But William Perry on the tackle. I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing today by William Perry.
Well, his numbers even look bigger on the back of his shirt. Look how big that 72 looks. Before you could barely even read the numbers on his jersey.
Because it was so stretched out before?
He really looks good. He's always had tremendous quickness, but it was always slowed down by the excess weight. At this weight of under 220, he's 320. I'm trying to get him down even further. He's headed for a heck of a year so far.
Whole new meaning to slim fast. 2nd and 9, and the Saints, Hilliard, he'd take a couple of shots. Finally, the third man brought him down. It was Singletary.
You talk about a classic square-up tackle. You know, Hilliard had to get away from Morrissey, had to get away from Stinson. Watch on the little flat route here. Hilliard does a nice job of avoiding two. First one is Stinson there. There's Morrissey, but now watch this one. Oh, no way. Right in the ear hole for Mike Singletary on Dalton Hilliard.
That satisfying kind of hit where even your own helmet kind of pops back for a moment. The man delivering the blow. 3rd and 1. Still a couple of minutes. Oh, they're setting up the halfback option pass. Hilliard will tuck it under, and he gets the first down. That excellent coverage downfield on Quinn Early. 6-yard run by the Saints' number 2 all-time runner.
A great job of reading the defense by Hilliard, but watch the offensive line as they're faking the run block on the sweep. They just wall the Bears off completely. Brock, Kennard, Dombrowski, and now it's just another run in the open field for Hilliard. Picks up a key first down.
1st and 10 with 9:25 to go. Good block by Hayward this time to help spring Dalton for about 7.
Well, this may be remembered as the year of the weight loss. We've talked a lot today about William Perry, but Craig Hayward went through his own conditioning program in the offseason, got his weight down to a very proud 275, and he's checking his handiwork out on the big board there. You see those eyes go up?
Yeah.
You know, he's half listening to the next play and looking at his last block.
Hope he has the snap count. 2nd down and 2. We'll run behind him again. Hilliard jumping off the first defender to pick up another first. He broke away from Richard Dent and gains 8.
Well, watch number 95 here, Richard Dent, as he'll come in, and he flat misses this tackle. He's got big Hayward coming at him. That might have distracted him a little bit, but Hilliard broke an arm tackle. Richard Dent got up the field for another first down.
8 minutes remaining. 8-point lead for New Orleans. Hilliard. This is his drive, isn't it? of Chicago. 14-yard pass play.
They're certainly calling number 21's number on this drive. He's had the ball every play so far, and he's brought it all the way across midfield now into Bear territory.
And Hebert is now 9 for 9 in the second half for 233 yards.
And he's not getting knocked down. He's not getting sacked. That offensive line is doing a heck of a job.
7 minutes remaining. 14-6, New Orleans. Looking for more. Hilliard with a flag into the pile. Hit by Perry.
Holding, offense, number 72, 10 yards, repeat first down.
At least Derek Kennard can say they didn't call my number this time.
You notice he was one of the first guys to ask the referee, was it me?
A couple of anxious moments.
This is the first setback on this drive of Dalton Hilliard, because he's been the man here.
The 1st and 20.
You know, Dunbar has been the first down guy the first 2 games, and Morris says he just wanted to use Hilliard in third down situations, but I think that Hilliard's experience is really paying off for Moore right now. He's using him in all situations.
Hilliard with a 7-yard run, tackled by Cox.
The thing the Saints are doing now is taking time off the clock. They started this drive with about 11 minutes to go, more than 11 minutes, already down 5. And with the Bears having to score twice to take the lead, they have to start thinking about using timeouts. The bad thing they have is just 2 remaining as Hilliard gets a nice hand.
Hilliard comes out. An extra receiver in for the Saints. 2nd down, 13. Wesley Carroll in the game. Hebert pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. He was going for Martin. How about the Giants? 21 unanswered. The Cowboys still lead 34-21.
That's pretty impressive for the Cowboys to play the 2 of the better teams in football back to back. Real impressive win against Washington, and then going into Giant Stadium with a big lead so far.
Sims has thrown 2 touchdown passes for the Giants to get it back 34-21 with 10 minutes to go. There's your down clock. The game clock reads 5:35. It's 3rd and 13. Patrick Newman, his 2nd catch, but well short of the first. Now what do you do? This will be spotted at the 37. A healthy Morton Anderson, certainly capable of a 54-yarder, but they may try to pin the Bears back.
Watch Hebert. This is a safety blitz right in here. The automatic blitz adjustment is the slant to the receiver, but the Saints have to go a long way for a first down. There's the sight adjustment, the tackle, good strategic play by the Bears with the safety blitz, giving up the short reception but keeping the Saints from picking up the first down.
So Mora bypasses what would be a 54-yard attempt. Anderson hit a 60-yarder against the Bears last year. And they'll take a delay of game penalty to back them up 5 yards. Make it a little easier for Barnhart.
Yeah, but Ditka.
Delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
You would think that they might refuse this penalty and let him kick from where he was at. There's more of a chance the ball will go into the end zone for the touchback. This gives the punter more field to work with to down the ball inside the 10 and really set the Bears back deep in their own end.
16-yard line, caught by Wolford. The Bears need to score twice in the final 4:36. They have 2 timeouts remaining. 3 possessions inside the 20. They've made a couple of field goals, missed one. One time they were stopped on downs at the Saints 5. They went for it on 4th and inches.
And last week they were a perfect 4 for 4 in that red zone with 3 touchdowns and a field goal. So a little bit more difficult here against the Saints and here in the Superdome.
Right him out. 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Harbaugh starts the drive with a nice completion near the 30. Wendell Davis. What about the Bears' strategy? No huddle here right now. They've got 2 plays called.
Yeah, and they've got to do that. The tough thing they've got working against them now, this crowd's going to start to get into it, make a lot of noise, make it difficult for Harbaugh to make those audible.
Anderson on the run. And stops the clock out of bounds.
That last drive of the Saints that Hebert engineered, coming off his end zone, with his back to the goal line, took 7 minutes and 5 seconds, and may have been just enough to give the Saints their first win of the year.
Saints next week play at Atlanta, while the Bears will host the Giants on Monday night. 2nd down and 1, 4:07 remaining. Anderson weaving his way, but not finding any yardage. In fact, they lost a couple. Jimmy Spencer called his name a few times, backup defensive back.
Getting the opportunity to play because Vince Buck is out with a knee injury for 3 or 4 weeks.
Call it 3rd and 2. Flags down. 1st down. And ridden out by Mills. Neil Anderson. Flag at the line of scrimmage. Motion penalty. Procedure penalty against the Bears.
I bet they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. When you're in an obvious pass situation, sometimes those offensive linemen don't get up on the line.
Illegal motion on the right tackle. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
There's a case of the crowd coming in with all the noise. Van Horn trying to get back, pass protect for his quarterback. Moved a little early.
How about Ditka and the way he prepared for the noise this week? He doesn't like to pump up the volume like some teams do because it gives him a headache. One time preparing for the Vikings, he walked around with a headache for a whole week.
He may have a headache right about now, too.
3rd and 7. Jackson forces the ball free, and Robert Goff has it for a Saints touchdown. Ricky Jackson forced it, and Robert Goff picked it up and ran 22 yards for the touchdown.
Watch Ricky Jackson. He's been battling with Van Horn all day long. 57 in the black shirt and 78. This is the 99th career sack for Ricky Jackson. And Robert the Pig Goff picks up the pigskin and scores.
His first career touchdown. 21-6. We'll call it an official 19-yard return of a fumble by Robert Goff.
This is Jackson's 2nd sack of the year. He just is going to overpower the right shoulder of Van Horn, who, remember, is playing with a bad foot. He just hits Harbaugh perfectly under the chop. Goff gets a nice big bounce and a stroll into the end zone.
Robert Goff, originally drafted by Tampa Bay 1988 and then traded to New Orleans in 90 for a 10th rounder, but really first spotted by Jim Mora and his coaching staff when he played in the 1988 Senior Bowl out of Auburn. Mora coached him there. Tampa Bay drafted him. Later Mora said, remember that guy we saw in the Senior Bowl? Brought him over here on a trade.
He had a few knee problems when he was with Tampa. Got healthy last year. He's one of those guys that will alternate in the defensive line. They'll bring him in on obvious pass situations to go along with Jackson and Swilling, and it paid off for the Saints that time.
Hey, cancel what I said about Coach Hanley. He's doing a great job.
He's a second-half coach.
28 unanswered, and Sims has thrown 3 touchdowns. They've scored on their last 4 possessions. 6:50 remaining in that game, and now the Cowboys lead by only 6.
That would be one of the all-time great comebacks in league history.
Oh, might be the all-time comeback in league history. No run back for Green. I wonder what they're chanting now up at Giant Stadium. They're chanting here. Well, you know the chair.
Cha-ching, bada bing, something like that. Written everywhere in this town.
Who dat is their thing here.
Yeah, who dat? That'd be the Saints. And they're winners for the first time this year.
.323 remaining. 21 unanswered points in the second half by the Saints. They come in on Harbaugh again. Boy, is he hammered. Anderson out of bounds at the 21. Pat Swilling leveled him.
There's 2 completely different halves for Harbaugh and the Bears and Hebert and the Saints. The Saints are just going to tee off on Harbaugh. That was his 36th attempt of the day. And again, the Bears are not going to win a game when Harbaugh and the Bears have to throw more than 35 times.
.316 remaining. Harbaugh sideline route caught by the newcomer Eric Wright, activated this week. Played in only one other NFL game, and that was against the Cowboys in the playoffs last year. That's his first career catch.
Well, Ditka is really rolling the dice and gambling on leaving Harbaugh in the game against this pass rush. No way the Bears are going to win this one, being down by 15 with just 3 minutes to go. Harbaugh is going to take a fierce beating in the remaining quarter here.
Harbaugh to Waddle. Ooh, a little too much.
Harbaugh saying, come on, Tom. Hoping to get a little more of that magic from Waddle. And that ball just a little bit overthrown.
While we're talking about that Giants attempted comeback, it's apropos because the Saints were involved in the greatest comeback in NFL history. December the 7th, 1980, the 49ers came from 28 down to beat New Orleans. The Giants trying to come back from 34 down today to beat the Cowboys. Harbaugh, complete. Morris, no, it's Davis. Davis diving at the 42 of New Orleans. 21-yard gain, 2:50 remaining.
Lewis looked a lot like Neil Anderson that time. He even carried the ball in his left hand as Anderson does so often.
2nd and 1, 2:24 to go. Saints 21-6. Look out! This could be a touchdown. It's Reginald Jones. 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter for the Saints. Saints defense, that is.
See Reggie go over and get that ball after he spiked it. That's his first NFL touchdown. 70-yard return of the deflected pass off the hands of Darren Lewis. Harbaugh looking for number 33 in the flat. The ball might have been deflected by Wayne Martin there at the line of scrimmage. It did go off Lewis's hands into the arms of Reggie Jones. And that's just a lot of open plastic green grass in front of him.
71 yards on the run back. First it was Robert Goff. Now it's Reginald Jones. The Saints defense, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
You know, Jones is thinking, along with Harbaugh, that, hey, we got to go right back out there after the next kickoff and play it all over again. Jones looking for somebody to give him a breather.
Well, the offense with 2 spectacular touchdowns in the third quarter.
And this is a deflected pass off of Marcus Paul's hand to Carroll. A game of inches.
Actually, that was early in the fourth. An earlier touchdown in the third to Eric Martin covering 52 yards. Then Goff scored.
Here's the sack by Ricky Jackson. That will cause the ball to pop loose. 2 hops to Robert Goff. He's in the end zone. So we talked about the Saints defense. Just a couple of seconds ago, it's Reginald Jones. Sir Reginald with his first touchdown.
Yeah, coming into the fourth quarter, it was 7-6. And now 28-6 with 2:08 remaining. Reginald Jones started his career in college as a running back at the University of Arkansas and then transferred to Memphis State, where the Saints nabbed him out of the 5th round of last year's draft. Mark Green running sideways to the 24. Boy, where do you begin to explain this story in the second half? I guess it's with Hebert being 10 out of 11 and 2 touchdowns, and the defense scoring twice. 2-minute warning at the Superdome, and it's rocking. Well, the Saints will win their home opener. They have the worst record in the NFL on opening day, 6-20 now in franchise history. In fact, they've never won a road opener when they've opened the season on the road. This will be the first time since '82 that the Bears have lost game 2. Harbaugh to Waddle to the 33. The last time Chicago lost in game 2 of a season was in 1982, Ditka's first year, and it happened against the New Orleans Saints 10-0. Second down 1. Flags on the field. Going for Davis, Toy Cook defending.
Illegal formation. Number 29 was covered by number 83.
By the way, the update, the Cowboys have the football on their own 40 at the 2-minute warning. Holding on to that 34-28 lead against the Giants.
This might be a classic case of just running out of gas for the Cowboys. Trying to hold on after a 34-point lead.
34-0. Second and real long. Jones looking for his second interception. He broke it up.
Well, they can sit back. They can play deeper. They don't have to worry about anything right now. That defensive back they can look at the quarterback, look at the receiver, and when you have an athlete with this ability, Jones, you can just break on the ball and make those type of plays.
The Saints back on the road next week at Atlanta, and then the 49ers will come in here. And at Detroit, and then the Rams at home. Third down and 6. Davis pummeled short of the first by about a yard.
You know, watching the Saints in practice yesterday, they seemed like a very confident team that wasn't going to panic. Knew they didn't play their best against the Eagles last week as a defense, but this week against the Bears, you might say they have their honor back, being one of the top defenses in the NFL. Scored twice here in the fourth quarter to put this one away.
Darren Lewis picks up the first down for Coach Ditka, now under 50 seconds remaining. The Giants next Monday night for the Bears, then a home game against Atlanta, at Minnesota, and the off week. Harbaugh. Just a block on that side from Gentry and goes out of bounds at his own 48. 33 seconds to go. 28-6 New Orleans. Ed Berg and Sampras, the men's final at the U.S. Open, just minutes away.
Who do you like?
Sampras. Ed Berg has been through some exhausting matches to get to this place.
Yeah, but Sampras had to run off the court yesterday for some business. Wasn't feeling too good.
I think he cleared that up, though.
Sure he did.
Second down and 2. Lewis spinning, trying to get out of bounds. Didn't make it. Timeout called by Chicago.
Silverdome and Pontiac.
What is there about some cops that will have everybody talking about them Monday morning? Well, see for yourself tonight on the season premiere of 60 Minutes. Following 60 Minutes will be special series previews of the new CBS comedy Franny's Turn and the Emmy-nominated comedy Brooklyn Bridge. Rounding out the evening, the CBS Sunday night movie Grave Secrets, The Legacy of Hilltop Drive, starring Patty Duke and David Soul. It's all tonight on CBS. Out at the 35 with 10 seconds to go. Remember the stat you pointed out earlier? Pass attempts, and the Bears are 1-6 when they try 35 passes or more. At least they were in 91. Harbaugh, 44 attempts today, 25 completions, 260 yards, and the interception that was returned for a touchdown.
And they seem to be in such control in the first half. Came back in the second half, and Hebert with the hot hand, and then the defense of the Saints came up with 2 big plays to put it away.
This game produced by Michael Burks and directed by Andy J. Kendall. And intercepted to close it out. Intercepted by Toy Cook.
I feel happy for the Saints that they won so that guy doesn't have to explain why he's dressed like that.
I couldn't tell who he was rooting for.
They got it all down here, don't they? Even the Pope showed up.
2 interceptions for Harbaugh on the day. Each team will exit the field 1-1. One more snap to close it. 21, fourth quarter points, seals it for the Saints. They have won their home opener 28-6. So for Dan Fouts, I'm Jim Nance saying so long from the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, where the final score is New Orleans 28 and Chicago 6. Stay tuned. Coming up next, the U.S. Open Tennis Championships conclude with the men's final. Pete Sampras against Stefan Edberg. The last two winners at the Open will duel. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.